Hey, how you guys doing out there? James Humphrey with the Socials Productions Movie Reviews. We got Jimmy. And this week we are doing
The Matrix.
First one came out in 2001? 2000?
1999.
1999.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah, right before the Y2K bug.
Uh-huh.
That never existed.
Yeah, and then we have The Matrix Reloaded.
Yep.
The Matrix
Revolution.
And then The Matrix Resurrection.
Yep. And then the Animatrix that nobody ever talks about.
Oh yeah, totally forgot about that. Let's start from the top. So the first one. Okay, first off, let me say this about this. The Matrix for me is like my Star Wars. Like how everybody has to rewatch their 3 Star Wars movies every year and blah this and blah that. That's what The Matrix is for me.
Yeah.
It's like I watch the trilogy every year, and it's that one series growing up that kind of either changed or revolutionized movie making, because you got to think, even in like the early 70s, 80s, and 90s, I guess since it gets made in 1999, there wasn't a lot of slow motion fight scenes, you know what I mean?
It's true. And then it brought that like tech age to life.
The Matrix came out, and then, the whole bullet effect and all that stuff. So it most definitely changed movies from that point on forward, especially with all the parodies now.
Yeah.
And then all the action movies we have now, it most definitely changed the game. You know what I mean? So
gave sci-fi a whole new twist.
Yes, it did. So. Yes, it did. Especially with story-wise, because it's not just your regular Terminator movie where the machines are looking to
wipe us out.
They're actually farming us.
And having us in a computer system. It makes all the guys with the tinfoil hats think, anyways, under conspiracy theories, it's like, are we in a computer program?
Yeah. So you gotta also think, this is during that, I guess you could say, big break with the internet, with reality versus, fake or
being
fantasy
computer,
and stuff like that. So it most definitely revolutionized that genre of sci-fi where it's like what's real and what's not real, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I even remember watching it as a kid, like not really grasping what the hell they were getting at, because I was like, I don't know, 10.
There was a lot of what the fuck moments.
There was most definitely a lot of what the
all
fuck
of them,
moments,
really.
It took the course of watching it over and over again with cell phones and everything else that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I most definitely understand like what's real and what's not real, what's fantasy versus reality. You know what I mean? So let's get into the movie.
Okay.
You got this guy, computer programmer, Neo, John Anderson, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. I think was it John or was it Tom? I think it was Tom, because I was it's a Tom, because originally I was starting to cross and think that maybe the John Wick thing was associated. Like there's a lot of theories with that, but
and so gets contacted from this fucking stranger.
That's like, hey, you're stuck in a computer program, and just preying on this guy's like mental of, hey, I've been thinking this, so maybe I'm not just dreaming this.
I feel like maybe I should off myself to see if it's real or if it's not, you know what I mean? He gets unplugged from the Matrix. And then you find out
immediately is like, man, I fucked up.
Yeah, and then you find out that this Matrix thing is not real, and it's like, what's the years, like it's 2600 or
something like that,
or
it's pretty
3000. It's pretty up there, to where from the way Morpheus explained it to me, the sun is no longer
in view.
It's like it's all polluted from this whole little wasteland of ships and all this other shit. And what gets me, like I said, what gets me the most is, like I said, the machines are not looking to off us. They're more or less looking to control us.
Yeah.
And you more or less have these group of individuals that feel like the reality is not real. And so they get unplugged from the Matrix, and that's how they are living in Zion, this whole little fictitious little underground world.
Yeah.
Where they have mech armor machines.
Right. It's like these. We fight the machines with the machines that apparently have never turned on us.
Right. And then the ships is kind of what's getting me a little bit, because they have these big, massive, electronic ships and shit
that float, and basically by magnet in a sense.
Yeah, and they're floating all over the world, which again is kind of confusing for me, because it's like Zion is like here, right? This little thing on the map. Are they floating these ships all around the world? and they know where the machine world is. It's like
Yeah.
they don't know, you know, and it's like they have the choice to, you know, go inside machine world, outside of machine world, whatever, you know, it's all
Yeah.
kind of confusing.
And what it also is kind of confusing, it's like, why would they have to leave Zion in order to go up to broadcast into the Matrix? Like, why not just broadcast from there and, you know, save all your defense for Zion?
You would think.
Like-
I feel like even back in that time, their defense should be a lot better than just these. They should have like some fucking missiles or some shit.
Exactly. Like,
know what
given
I
the
mean?
fact that what they've already created, granted, as we get to it in the third movie, it's a little more explained, but even then, it's still kind of more shit.
Yeah. So let's talk about the hero. Let's talk about Neo. He's the one.
Yeah.
This Jesus type savior that has these special powers or some shit.
Has the true freed mind to.
Well,
be
it's
able
not so
to-
much as having the true freed mind, because all of their minds are free.
Yeah.
All of them can jump and fly and do all this other shit if they wanted to. It's just this particular character that can like stop, you
Yeah.
know, shit, you know.
Yeah,
and
be in
feel
control
shit.
in the
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah, which
so.
is a little off.
Yeah.
But whatever. I like the character. This is what I don't like. He knows he's the one at some point in the movie, right?
Theoretically, in the second one.
Yeah,
is
theoretically
when
in the second one.
comes to terms with it, so to
It's
speak.
just he makes all these unheroic choices. You know what I mean? It's like, you know that you could save the world, save, you know, Zion and all this other shit, but yet you're too busy fighting for love and all this other, you know, mushy shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, they kind of softened him up a little
if
bit.
you're like the real hero, I mean, you're not fighting for love, you're fighting for mankind, right?
I mean, every hero has his boo thing.
Yeah, but let's be serious here. You know, we'll get to the third one here in a second. But it's like, I feel like you should be making some better decisions. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just me. That's just me. You know. So we know what happened at the end of the first one. He saves Morpheus. He saves, I guess, Trinity, and saves himself. And
Yeah,
then he's
gets
out.
gunned down, becomes reborn in the Matrix.
Yeah,
and,
whatever. Which literally tells me that he can't be killed.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He clearly took enough bullets. You know.
and to be able to just like respawn in the Matrix,
Yeah.
even though, because they said, you know, being hooked up to the Matrix, it makes it real.
Mm-hmm.
So
But okay, so moving on to the second one, he's obviously a badass now.
yeah, he can fly, stop bullets,
Do all
see
this other
everything in
shit,
code,
you know.
like-
And then, like I said, he makes these love choices that kind of question his overall character.
yeah,
Because you're supposed to be the one. You know you're the one, right? You
Yeah.
know you're the savior of mankind. They give him the choice at the end of the movie. It's like, hey, you could literally go to this door and stop into machine world, stop all this shit going down, or you can go choose this door back to the Matrix to save Trinity.
yeah.
And he chooses to save Trinity, which is a phenomenal scene.
Yeah.
it's an amazing scene.
'Cause he just floats like through everything, and
just to show how powerful he is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Very, very good scene. But it's like, dude, man.
And I could kind of see maybe his reasoning for that choice because it wasn't the first time this has happened. And he's realized that. He realized, okay, I could go through the store and save everyone, but he kind of felt overconfident that I could save Trinity and still do this because this ain't the end anyways. This shit's just going to be on repeat. So maybe that's why he chose that. Just to kind of be like, okay, well, screw this guy. I'm going to show him I can do both. So,
Now,
wouldn't say that's heroic. That's just more cocky than anything.
I will say this for the Matrix Reloaded. Like I said, it's more my favorite of the four, mainly because the action was there. Most
Yeah.
definitely, the action was
From
phenomenal.
start to finish, really.
Oh yeah, was
So-
phenomenal in Matrix Reloaded. From the car chase scene, they took the car chase scene up a few notches.
Yeah.
When it comes to your basic car chase scenes,
Because Trinity was
your movies.
badass on the bike. And
Oh, yeah.
Like, just the whole thing.
And I like that it didn't make it so much about Neo, because Neo wasn't really in that car chase scene. It was more Morpheus and Trinity and the
Showing what
Keymaker.
they could
You know,
do.
it most definitely gave kudos to them, which I thought was pretty good. It gave, you know, sort of birth to the long fight scenes in
Yeah.
movies. You know what I mean? Because they had the few fight scenes with Neo fighting the Merovingian people.
Yeah.
You know.
And twins.
Oh yeah. I wish
Even
they
in the
had-
video games, they were a pain in the ass.
I wish they had more, you know, more screen time. You know, because
Yeah.
the twins are obviously some pretty badass characters. I just wish they. I wish Neo would have fought though. You know,
Yeah.
I thought that would be a pretty good scene if Neo actually got
Like-
toe to toe with them.
Yeah.
You know, but whatever. And so, moving on to the third one, which is the lesser of the three, but I still like that core trilogy because it really, I guess, set up the good from the beginning of the three films to the ending of the first trilogy. We'll get to the fourth one here in a second, but
I want to.
it most definitely ended good because you had the savior. He makes a sacrifice. He kills everybody. Whatever. Or he actually didn't kill everybody. He sets peace between the machines
And
the
takes down
humans.
Smith because
You know,
Smith
takes
was
down
like
some more,
spreading.
spreading all over the place. Here's my thing though. You know, he makes the choice to go to the machine world, stop whatever. You know, Trinity ends up getting killed.
Yeah, in the process.
Right? And I felt like it's only because she got killed, you know, that he finally wants to make the decision to end the war and everything else. It's like, you know, it kind of...
Which technically, in the end of that fight scene, he realistically gave up against Smith, and then the machines were like, as soon as they felt the coding go in him, they were finally able to use his code to destroy Smith.
Well, you got to remember what you said about the first one. It's like he can't be killed in the Matrix. You know,
That's
even though
true.
he got killed multiple times in the Matrix, he always comes back.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I guess that's one of the reasons why he let Smith, I guess, take over because he knew that he could kill all the programming and all. It's very confusing.
Which was a weird
You
concept.
gotta watch it multiple times.
Which was a weird concept too, because at the end of the second one and going into the third one, he stopped the machines in the real world, and then somehow got his mind stuck in the Matrix without even being jacked in. So that was kind of a weird, like, another what the fuck moment with Matrix.
And like I said, it's only till, you know, Trinity dies where he doesn't have to make any more love choices. And
So
now
he finally makes
he finally makes a
heroic choice.
You know, heroic choice to say whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So very good trilogy. The ending was pretty badass with the whole fight scene with him and Smith.
Yeah.
You know, Morpheus and all of his other crew still have their kudos with their fight scenes and their talking, whatever. And actually, the war between the machines and the human and machines.
Yeah. Finally, technically
the
ended.
little mech, little whatever. You know what I mean? It
those
really
are cool.
showed the brutality of the machines compared to the humans or fighting against the humans and everything else. It was pretty
Yeah, they got pretty graphic. It was
pretty good. But they had missiles though.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So it's like, okay, but where the fuck was this on the ship? Like they can make little missiles out of rocket launchers, but they can't make missiles on the fucking ship. But that's none of my business.
Right,
Whatever.
and they had the EMP on the ships to be able to blow. But where were they in Zion to?
Well, they had one big one in Zion, but I felt like, how can you not like make multiple EMPs for whatever, multiple ships or whatever?
Yeah, and just keep frying those damn things.
You know, but then it wasn't that like Locke's plan.
Yeah.
You know, because Locke wanted all the ships to be housed in the
thing, and then just do
Zion,
one
and then
super
Morpheus
big-
and everybody else was just disobeying orders and doing their own fucking thing. And
Yeah.
Neo wanted his own damn ship to go whatever when he could have just jacked himself in the Matrix and whatever.
I mean, realistic. Well, maybe I don't know if he would have been able to.
well,
make
I guess
contact.
I guess he had to go to the
world.
machine world to fight whatever that mech face mother.
Yeah, it
fucker,
looked like
whatever.
damn baby face or something
It
like some
did.
kind of like one of those
Yeah,
old
it did.
porcelain dolls that was
Yeah.
back in the day.
Whatever, man. All right, I know it's tough, but we have to get through this.
Do we really have to?
We have to.
We got to. Okay. Moment of silence for our fallen movies.
Because the
Okay.
first three were so good, man, and they really dropped the ball on that fourth one. Well, let's get into it.
They basically made it kind of a Deadpool spinoff. They acknowledged that it was basically a movie.
Yeah.
For the like the whole first 3/4 of the damn thing.
I will say this: like the first act of the movie it set up for a good movie because it shows that Neo's not dead.
Yeah.
It shows that he's clearly still jacked into the Matrix. So it's more or less a redo of the first one where he has to,
Figure out that he's
figure
gotta
shit
get
out,
free
balance,
and-
whatever. You know what I mean? It's just at first I wasn't expecting them to free him so quickly from the Matrix. So it's like, okay, he's free, he's out of the Matrix, you know what's going on. And then again, he's making these fucking love decisions.
To go back in.
He wants to go back into the Matrix to save Trinity.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, this bitch was clearly dead in the third one. She was like dead. And then it tells
she's more or less a clone overall.
That's like, what was kind of hard to comprehend. Like they brought them both back. They explained that they both died.
Clones. Yeah.
And they like have the technology to bring them back or some shit like that, which makes no sense because
why would you want to reclone the brain of the one and then this chick that
made peace with you in the first place?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But here's the thing though: if they could do that, how are they not bringing literally all the people that has died in the Matrix back to life?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because obviously if I remember correctly, the machines were using the humans for like electronic
basically
power or
Duracell
like
batteries,
that, right? Yeah. So it's like, why would you not bring up all your dead batteries back to life? You know what I mean?
I was gonna say we have Energizer chargers,
So they brought them back to life, and then Neo gets free from the Matrix, making dumbass decisions, and then the one captain. It's like, oh, this is Neo, man. Let's go sacrifice everything for Neo. Let's do this, man.
Another Morpheus. And then what they did with Morpheus, it's like he was a agent, and then he becomes like this fucking whatever the hell. It was
a computer program that Neo redid in the video game or something like that. You know what I mean? That got recreated. Here's what happened. Lawrence Fishburne is like 60 years old. he's up there in numbers.
I mean, he's still in John Wick. He's
not fighting people in John Wick. That's the thing. They needed a Morpheus that could fight, that could do the stunts and everything else.
I have faith in you. I
and I had faith in Keanu Reeves when it came to those fight scenes because referring to John Wick, he did all the long action fight scenes, but I'm like, what happened to the action in this movie? It's like the Matrix is known for their action, and in the third one, there's just no fucking action.
Yeah.
Or the action is just completely shit. It's very bad camera work. It's like the camera's just all over the place.
And then how they did Smith, and then brought in the Mayor Vincent again, and he's basically just a homeless guy mumbling at you.
A homeless program. Is that even possible to have a homeless? Well, I guess so. It's the Matrix. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Pretty much.
But yeah.
It just got so bad so quick. Like
here's another thing that completely threw me for a fucking loop was the father of the one guy that created this new Matrix. He's too much of a character.
Neil Patrick Harris character.
Like he's the guy that gave birth to this new Matrix, whatever, right? But I feel like as a computer program, like you have too much, character to be. A computer program. You're just wanting everything to be cool, to be relaxed. You don't want nobody to know this is the Matrix.
Yeah.
You just want everybody to chill the fuck out, whatever. And he's like doing all this extracurricular shit.
Yeah.
And
thinks it thinks he can contain Neo.
Mm-hmm. Well, you gotta remember in Matrix Reloaded, when Matrix went to go find the maker of the Matrix, it was that old guy that said,
the Colonel Sanders looking dude.
Yeah. But
I didn't know if he was gonna sell me a pill to get back into the Matrix or some chicken.
Even then, Colonel Sanders is like, hey, look, man, I'm the maker of the Matrix, dude. We're chill. Like, I don't know what you're doing. I'm being cool. Just. And this other guy.
Here's your choices.
This other guy is plotting and planning and scheming, and he's not convincing me that he's just a robot program that's just wants everything to be chill.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the plot twist at the end of the movie.
The fact that Trinity basically became the one out of nowhere. Yeah. When they jump off the roof and.
I'm all fine with empowering women. All that stuff. I'm completely okay with that. It's the whole point to where they took the focus of the primary character and gave it to another one completely out of the loop. It's like not even really a plot twist. It's more or less like if you guys were going to set it up this way.
Trinity should have been the main like on
why
the cover.
Why did you not set this up in the previous 3 movies? It's like they had the 3 movies and then they just decided to make a 3rd or 4th one. And like change it completely, which is pretty much what they did. Writing wise, action wise, everything else is just was not good.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
basically became the bitch of the series
Pretty
at that
much,
point.
man. Like pretty much. Like
I was half waiting for her to start stopping bullets. I don't think she did that.
no, I mean she can fly now, so that's cool. And I guess
they have like
both,
the Superman Supergirl thing going on.
yeah, they both kind of relearn how to fly and stuff like that. But then,
granted, she just like instantly like figured it out when they jumped off that roof. Like all of a sudden, oh, now she's flying. It's like there was no lead up. There was no, she literally hadn't even really been freed yet, and she's able to do this. And it's like,
again,
what the hell?
it defeats the whole purpose of Morpheus looking for the one when he has the bitch on the ship this whole entire time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like maybe I have to rewatch it and like miss like a quote or something that pointed toward that way. It just didn't. And then let's finish this episode up with the ending of Resurrection. They didn't like free everybody. That's what I'm expecting them to do.
They start freeing,
get rid of the machines and free everybody. Instead of that, Neo and Trinity literally become the new Matrix makers. They control
everything that's going on.
The Matrix. And I'm like...
So it's like, it makes you wonder, where are they really going with this? Like, how could they make another trilogy out of this with them?
I don't think they are, man. I think that was it. Like,
you think that was it?
I don't see how they can, because what are they going to do? Okay, I guess they can, like, free more minds, 10,000 dozen at a time, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess... If you think theoretically, they can't free all the minds all at once because, I mean, Zion would literally, like, perish.
Implode.
There's not enough food and water to go out over the millions and millions of billions of people that they have all around the thing. So I guess that makes sense. But I still feel like they could have somehow got rid of the machines and still kept, people incubated or whatever they're doing, you know what I mean? Just kind of free people at a time. But they didn't play that out at the end of the movie. They just made it seem like, hey, I'm flying around and I'm in control of the Matrix. I do what I want now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, it'd be cool to see him try to save it and do like something to eliminate the machines altogether. But
you would think.
But at this point, I mean, it's pretty hard to save that victim there because it's out on the floor. I
think it was 2 hours and 45 minutes of wasted time.
Pretty much. I mean, again, the last 30 minutes, I'd say were okay. Because that's where the action was.
Yeah, but even then, it's not really Matrix action.
That's true.
It is a shitty-ass car scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that car scene doesn't compare... Or that action scene doesn't compare to Matrix Reloaded and their car scene, man.
Yeah.
It's like they fell off.
Yeah.
It's like shit. Such disappointment.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm
leaving it alone. That's the end of this episode. That's the end of this episode. I'm done. Good trilogy. The fourth one fell off hard, but I mean, overall, it's still a very good series.
Yeah.
I recommend it. I still watch it every year.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I'd say if you're a Matrix fan and you haven't seen the newest one, watch it, but maybe have a bottle of whiskey beside you or something because you're going to need it. It's going to hurt.
Yeah,
it's going to hurt bad.
Hurt.
So,
yeah.
It's like pouring alcohol straight on an open wound.
Drinking a fireball with no ice or something.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah,
me and Cinnamon don't get along anyway, so double whammy.
What are we doing next week?
Expendables?
Expendables. Jason Statham, Sylvester Stallone,
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
any 90s or 80s action star is good.
That can still walk without
that can still walk. Yeah. Jimmy, James, Social Productions Movie Reviews. We'll see you guys next week.